Good morning. This is our weekly video again. And as usual, what we are going to do is to discuss stocks. So very simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review some of the stocks that I discussed last week. And then we're going to talk about stocks that was highlighted this week. So stocks that are most talked about recently, like City Development, Sembcorp Industry, Keppel Corp, and Wilmar, Kaplan Invest, all these, I'll do a quick review, like I mentioned last week, and AEM. So let's talk about the good one first. Okay, so we have AEM. So AEM, I mentioned last week that the uptrend seems to be continuing with the consolidation over here, which is a flat pattern, and a breakout is necessary. So what do we see is a breakout here, and AEM had spike up to its resistance at 358 and break up from there. So it is at the high at 376 that it struggled, and now it is back testing this 358 as a support. So once a resistance break, it turns as a support. Now the volume as it push up is pretty high, and what I can draw example from is in the past where it had similar run, what happened after that. So you got to watch out for this kind of pattern repeating again. So first you can see here there's a shooting star, and what happened after that? There was a rally, there's a shooting star again, and then what happened after that? There's a rally and there's a shooting star again. So coincidentally, after every rally, AEM seems to form shooting star, and the result after that isn't that positive. So you got to watch out whether you should be taking profit or locking your profit, so that you do not let this run go to waste. Next, let's look at this Wilmar. So as you can see, the trend line that I've drawn last week, and I mentioned that if it doesn't go above 403, it doesn't look bullish, and Wilmar exactly did not break. And what we see here is that Wilmar has developed a downtrend where you see high, low, and lower low on its way. So its support level is at 381, and it is currently testing 389 as a previous support turn resistance. Okay, so it doesn't look very bullish for now, so we should stay away from this counter until it starts to develop bullishness, something like that, where we can see the higher low pattern. Next, we are looking at this Sembcorp Marine. Now it's called Seatrium. Okay, Seatrium. So we mentioned the frustration on the consolidation over here. So finally it broke out after that. After I vented my frustration, Seatrium hurt me, and we saw a strong rally over here, and then a breakout thereafter. And the next resistance that we want to see is 137 get tested. So here again, we see some consolidation, but it is a good way for it to rest before it continue to hit 137. So I'm very enthusiastic about this uptrend, and hopefully it can complete its higher high at 137. That will be very nice. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about this Kaplan Invest, CapitaLand Invest. So the 390 resistance before XD has changed, because after XD, the chart has moved in such a manner where the stocks in fact gap up, so giving free dividend, but start to pull back. So now it is above the 390. So this 371 is actually the 390 resistance from the chart, and now it's testing it as a support. Technically, the uptrend is still intact, and what we want to focus on is that the selling down, the volume isn't that high as yet. So it's good to watch whether 371 support can hold, and going forward, a rebound back to 385 will be a positive sign that this uptrend would continue. And then next, we have through the email. You can see here in the email, we have this Keppel Corp, Samudera, City Development, UOB, Sembcorp Industry for this week. Okay, and what do we have is we talk about UOB quite frequently. If you can see from the email here on the 27th April UOB, then on the 3rd of May I repeated UOB again. So what about UOB? So UOB was at the low, and before it gives out dividend, it was forming this inverted hammer. So the result was pretty good. So I thought, maybe if there's any chance for it to rebound, but unfortunately, it did not rebound from there. So the US bank crisis seems to be spreading out, and it is affecting our local banks' share price. No doubt, our local banks are not affected. So what we see, or what I see yesterday, was that we have this again UOB, because many clients will ask me, hey, when is the time to accumulate banks? And I would think that if you are a long-term shareholder, you want to accumulate banks, you should do it at the support level or at the low. So the recent support level for UOB is at 27.98 to 28.07. The next one will be 27.22 to and 26.99. So it depends on how deep your pocket is. So if you are doing a dollar cost averaging, what we call DCA, you can view every support as your entry point. But if your pocket is not too deep, then you maybe want to wait for the major support, which may not be able to reach, like 27.22. So next week, in fact, the CPI data from the US market becomes very important, because last night FOMC says that they are looking to pause the interest rate hike, especially if the economic data is good, or rather, I mean, inflation comes down, that is considered good. So what we are going to look forward to is that if the data is favorable to the market, what we can see is a rebound coming. But if the data is not favorable to the market, right, then we are looking at the more downside, and UOB may hit the low at this $27. Because if the interest rate continue to go up, more US bank will fail, and it will definitely, in my opinion, affect our bank share price. But our bank will be a good catch once they come to a low. So going to the next counter, we are looking at this well, by the way, before I go on to the next counter, just have a quick look on UOB, how it performed today. So what you can see is UOB is edging down, but edging, not aging, edging down. And what we are looking at is hammer and hammer. Seems like there's a lot of supporter for UOB, but it just couldn't get up. So the next will be this support level over here. Next, we will be looking at the city development again. So what happened to city development last week is that we hope that support level at 702 can hold, but unfortunately it cannot. So what we have is that we highlighted, or I highlighted, that this city development has a hammer, and we're expecting some rebound towards 705 to 712. And what we see here is that in fact 705 was the level that it couldn't hit. So we can see some rebound to $7 here, towards $7, filling up part of the gap here. But generally, this counter is still weak. But what we want to see is that the future development, how it pans out. So if city development doesn't come back to this low and pull back to rebound and goes up to hit 709, then that will be a positive sign. Okay, and what we want to see going forward is that if this pullback holds at 699 as a support, okay, when it goes to 709, let me explain why is it so important. Because it fills up the gap, so it makes the gap exhaustive. So when the gap is exhaustive, it actually paved the way for the bull. And when it pull back to hit support level and hold at support level, then this is where there's a chance for the bull to continue, because in the bullish market, support hold. Next, we look at this other counter. Sembcorp industry was highlighted in my comment box. So if you view the video, I talk about Sembcorp Industries. I mentioned that this week we shall witness a breakout. So Sembcorp Industry breakout happened, and it is still going strongly higher. So this is a good sign for all Sembcorp shareholders. And I mentioned about Keppel Corp over here, which we expected a rebound from this low, and to see whether it can break out above 631. So Keppel Corp, we can see a very strong breakout. I am sorry, I'm pretty busy here, a lot of clients calling me, but I will try to finish this video and get on with the support. So you can easily get me a WhatsApp or call me. I'm actually very approachable. So what we are looking at is the breakout at 630 or 631, and for Keppel Corp to continue to go up. So Keppel Corp gap up today, but now seems to be weakening. But nevertheless, the uptrend remains intact. The most important thing is we managed to pick the low, and the upside depends by the market. So Keppel Corp has also announced that their transformation is on its way and is seemingly seeing results. So that's why the market is bullish about it. So let's see whether it can continue higher. Samudera mentioned that there's a support here, and we needed a confirmation above 134. So there's a typo here, 134. So 134, then we look at this 141 resistance. So what happened to Samudera? At the end of the day, they announced a profit warning, and that resulted in a very bad movement for the stock. So these stocks did not do well, and it gapped down. So it actually tried to form the kind of confirmation that we are looking at, but at the end of the day, it actually closed lower. So that's why if unfortunately you took an early trade, then you probably have to get out over here on this black candle, or if not, latest this black candle, right, I think should be getting out, because the results suggest that the earnings are going down because of shipping rate is going down. So having said that, shipping rates are going down, commodity prices are going down. So does that mean that CPI data next week will be going down as well? Okay, so this is some food for thought. Okay, so thank you for viewing this video. Again, if you like this video, please share with your friend. Can like the button, can click on the like button, can refer your friends to me to open an account. I'll be happy to support them as well. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.